Okay, guys. If you can see me. Shall I put this over here? No, turn it off. No, you won't be able to see me at all, will you? This is just like, you know, it's a waffle vid. Sometimes we do a lot of waffling, we do a lot of contemplating, we do a lot of thinking when you're not a professional and you're doing something you've never done before, like completely rebuild a motorbike. You've got to have a bit of contemplation time. So it is a bit of a waffly vid, just, you know, it's an update, it's what's going on in my mind, it's what's happening, it's what's evolving. Yeah, just, you know, it's a waffle. There's naturally, I don't do anything. It's just talking about what's going to come, what's going on, what's in your mind. Sometimes you've got to do that. Hope you enjoy it. I've got lots more stuff in the pipeline. I did lots of old videos, and I feel like I've actually got better at doing videos I think until you put a video up and watch it back, you don't really understand what's needed, what's interesting, what's not interesting. I'm trying to make them interesting, and so I'm going to do, even though I've nearly finished the bike, I can't go back, and the footage is not great from early videos, but I'll try and put something together from the build process. But what I will do is go over how I've built stuff, go through some stuff that I've done, and stuff I've still yet to do. So I've got some really cool stuff coming that will help finish the bike off. Still interesting stuff, still very poignant, important, and I speak to a lot of people on the forums, so you know, I know the kind of questions people are asking, so I'm going to try and answer them a bit more. I feel like now, I don't say I know the Yamaha Virago to its very core, but I think I know it pretty damn well. I can honestly say I've watched every single video that's out there about this bike. Anything that's worth watching, I've watched it. I honestly believe that. I don't think there's any video. I can scan through YouTube for hours and not find a video I haven't watched already. So on that, here's a waffle. It's going to last a long time. You may find it completely boring, but don't worry about that. Just turn it off. If it's interesting, keep watching. You know, it's going to take 15 minutes out of your life. So just whatever. See you in a bit. Bye. How do people? Right. Well, I want to start doing some regular videos. You know, the bike's nearly finished, but I've actually got a load of old footage that I'm gonna post up. You know, it's to help people, isn't it? It's to help people like I've been helped. So we'll do that. But as a bit of an update, there's a couple of things happened since the last video. First one, won't be riding no motorbikes for a while because decided to go skateboarding because I'm a rad dude with a mate. So I'm 50. Our mate's, I don't know, he must be more than 40 by now. So we go down with the kids, went skateboarding, had a good time, but my 20-year-old brain pushed my 50-year-old body a bit too far, and it looks like I may well have torn my Achilles. Nice, right where the muscle joins the Achilles, and so now I'm in that. Ain't changing no gears in that, am I? Yeah, even got my toe socks on, which was slightly embarrassing. Going to the old A&E. Got some new bits of aluminium tube there. Yeah. Yeah, there's the skateboard. that skateboard went around the world with me in 2003. I actually had a guy hand me a business card in Singapore whilst I was scooting around on that. Yeah, we're going to do business. Right, okay, that is a little aside. This is actually an old KZ 400, 440, something around those numbers. I could not get a KZ 650 tank for life nor money, and I settled on this one. Well, I settled on this style of tank. This one was $100. Oh, look, set the alarm off. This one was $100 from America, and I got it. I thought, well, I got it because it's cheap, and I thought I'll see if it fits, because it is smaller than the 650 tank. But it's got that lovely bit on top that I think is the most popular bit. The KZ 650 tank is more angular here, and I think that's why it looks so cool. But this actually would have been a good substitute. The main reason I didn't want to keep it was because of the capacity of the tank. I just felt like with probably quite a guzzly motor, the last thing you need is to be trying to fill up every 2 minutes. So I bought this, and it's turned out to be a little bit of a means to practice stuff. So I've been practicing different types of metal finish because my tank, this bike's evolved a little bit from what I thought was going to happen in my mind to what it actually is, and I've ended up going for a lot of raw metal finishes. Calipers are raw, the rear brake drum is raw, all of the covers are raw. I've only painted the engine. Look at that, some rust off the tanks coming out from Petcock. So yeah. So I'm going for a raw metal finish. So I've actually 3D designed some new badges, because underneath there is a metal plate. So if originally I was going to go for painted finish with a tuning fork logo like this on the side. Since I've been playing with some metal finishes, one of them was underneath the seat here. If you looked underneath here, I've got some engraving and some metal finish on that. And that was just me testing what I could do before I even thought about messing about with this tank. And you can still see a few swirls where I've practiced stuff and then ground it off again. I'm going to end up with no metal by the time I finished. I've also done some heat treating to figure out how the metal changes colour, because I'm going to heat treat it. I've got a couple of propane, a big, really heavy duty propane torch over there that I bought to be able to do the forks actually. Oh, this is turning into a waffle. So I've been doing some... Oh, sorry, I've set the alarm off again. So as you can see, there's a bit of a goldness to this, right? So when you heat metal up, it changes colour, and it basically goes gold. This bit here is trying to turn blue. That lovely cobalt type. Oh, it's like a petrol blue. Oh, I love it. Unfortunately, my colour scheme does not suit blue, so can't do blue. But what I can do is this lovely kind of gold. Now, there's a treatment process called brassing where you heat it up. It goes this straw colour, as they say, and then you go at it with a brass brush and you keep going, and eventually you brass the metal. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to end up with a gold finish. And then what I can also do, so for a contrast, that gold finish was actually all the way across here. So I did it. You've got different thicknesses of metal on the bends and stuff, so it's hard to heat this like consistently. I really do have to take my time with it when I do the final tank. But what you can do as well is you can get this finish, and you can actually, because it's just an oxide basically, it's just an oxide that forms on the surface, you can actually sand it off. So I'm going to go for basically this whole section here will be gold. Coming all the way around and underneath will be this goldy brassy colour, and the ends will be silver. So this will be silver and this will be silver. I'm just going to sand it off, right? So that's the basic scheme. I've got a new badge that I 3D designed. Oh yeah, it's here. Here it is. So this is my test. This bike is going to be a Kamazuki because it is a Kawasaki. It is a Yamaha and a Suzuki, because I've got a Hayabusa front end, I've got a Kawasaki tank, and I got a Yamaha motorcycle. Oh, Suzuki front wheel, yeah. Original back. Gen 2. So I have gone to my friends in China to have these machined in aluminium. Actually turned out more expensive than the stuff they did for me on the rear shock. But I guess there's more machining involved in this. So they're quite expensive badges, really, but they are bespoke. They'll come back aluminium. As you can see, the tank's curved a little bit. This one's curved more than the other one. So I'll need to bend them a little bit so that they sit nice and flush. But the two little screws that go in kind of pull it in. So that's the reason I've done that is because I'm metal colouring this. I needed to cover there's a metal plate underneath there. So the tank's been recessed. There's a metal plate that's spot welded in. Tried to pull it off. No, just started distorting the tank. So I've accepted the path of least resistance, and I'll put my new badge on. So I've actually matched the original KZ font as best I can. Suzuki had their own special font. You can't get it, so this is as close as I got. I did a bit of a search. Quite a few people are interested in trying to match the font, probably for decals, but I've managed to find something, and I think we all agree, do we not, that that's a good match. So I will get this, and then when they come made out of aluminium, as this one is, I will probably do a similar thing. I'll probably paint the outside black, the inside's going to be white, like that, because I like that. So I'm going to put some white paint on the inside, and that's going to be my new Kamazuki badges. So there they are. Awesome. So that's that. So that's one thing that's happened since the last video. The other thing that's happened is I have now put some foam on the seat, and the reason why it's gone for this is I fucked up my previous attempt. So I was going to go for the 10-pack seat, and in the back of my mind, this colour I thought was going to be right, because I've got rust paint on here. This paint is designed to go rusty, and you can see it's gone really rusty and orange there. The only reason this hasn't is I've been leaning on it so much that the grease from my hands has got rid of the rust and sealed the paint. But I've got an activator, boxes up there. See what it says, this way up. It's got some, I don't know, some chemical in it that sort of promotes the rust, kick-starts it, and then it will go rusty. So eventually I get the activator on here, I can paint more of the rusty paint on here. I can keep going as long as I want, but it's going to end up being an orange, and I had plans for lots of things being rusty. This was going to be rusty paint, that was going to be rusty paint, there was going to be lots of rusty paint on here. Since changed my mind, I tested it on here thinking I can just sand it off. At the moment it's staying. I may get rid of that. It's easy to do, just take the brackets off and sand them down. They're made of aluminium. So yeah, this was a work in progress. I've never really done any kind of, I've got a sewing machine, but I've never really done anything. That sewing machine is not man enough to deal with this. It'll go through 2 layers of leather, it'll go through 3 layers of leather, but the problem I've got is where I've glued the 2 pieces together, the glue being a little bit sticky. See, the sewing machine can't deal with it. Well, the sewing machine can, but the thread can't. It keeps snapping the thread. So I tried to basically stitch around these, because even though I've glued them and they look okay, there's the chance of that glue holding for the life of the bike. I could just imagine it coming loose and then just not looking great. Anyway, I had a go. Over several hours to try and do this stitching, and then in the end sacked it off. Fuck off. Right, gone. Not doing that anymore. I bought some what I thought was Alcantara fabric. It's not. This is like a knockoff Alcantara fabric, but it's actually okay. It's nice material. So I've been playing around with this, testing different finishes. So I've decided just to go, I'm playing a little bit safe because I can't do much with the sewing machine I've got. Although I'm buying a heavy duty version of the one I've got. It's a really basic Singer domestic sewing machine. I'm getting a heavy duty domestic sewing machine. I really would love a walking foot sewing machine, but as you can see, I'm filling my space as it is. I think there's going to come a point when I've got to fuck some of this stuff off, because it's just I'm accumulating too much crap that I'm not going to use anymore. Never going to develop that. That was a big quad for kind of cinematic filming, putting a decent camera on. That's going, because you can get some amazing small ones now. Technology's moved on since I tried to build that. So there's stuff I need to get rid of, and probably more space, but I can't find space for an industrial sewing machine. They take up a lot of room. They take up as much room as my bench, and that's got a miter saw underneath it. So I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and accept that I can't have a walking foot sewing machine. So I'll go for a heavy duty domestic, and it will do the job. It will do the job. Certainly what I'm going to do. This Alcantara fabric is not as hard to sew as leather, but once I get the heavy duty machine, I think I can go through 8 layers of leather anyway. So I kind of just want the big stitch. The biggest stitches these do is 4mm, but it's not consistent. So when the machine's struggling, you can see that it doesn't move the fabric through very quickly, and you end up with really tight stitches close together, and it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look how it's supposed to look with the big 4mm stitches. I was showing you the wrong side there. I think that's the back. There's the front. Looks a little bit better, but I need it to be consistent. So there's lots of practice going on. So I'm going to just do ribs going across. So ribs going across, and then a border going round. I've got a sample. I even tried having a border of leather with this, and so it's going to be ribs like that basically. But it's just learning how far to have the gaps. You know, it's all just trial and error, because we're not pros. We're just making it up as we go along, as I say. So that was me just testing stuff, but I'm going to have a black seat, right? That's the way it goes. So I've done all my testing. I've got the plan of attack. I did have an edge piece that I did showing you what I'm going to do. So it's going to be black and red, grey and red stitching. Be grey through here on the ribs, and then a red and grey border going round. I've shaped this foam. It's closed cell foam. It's kind of like, it's a bit like memory foam, I guess. It's also sold as insulation, I think. But I've shaped that now how I like it, and I just have to just basically coat it. This stuff I bought. This is an inch thick foam. That's what I used to test this with. I think I don't need it, so I've actually ordered some 10mm scrim foam. So it's kind of backed foam. It's like I've got the old seat that some guy made for me. There it is. This is scrim foam. So a guy made this for me as well, which I nearly puked on when I saw it. It's so ugly. Look at that. It's not his fault. It's my fault for giving him a bad brief. But look at the stitching there. That's what I need. Nice big stitches. He also doesn't get heavy enough weight thread for my liking. I want the thick thread, Sailmaker's thread. So I've got some heavier duty stuff. Hopefully it'll be good enough. It'll look nice on the black anyway. So that's that. Yeah. The reason this tank's on here is my other tank is with a guy, fabricator, to move the Petcock. I had a go at moving the Petcock myself, and I'm new to welding, the only bit of welding I've done is on here, but this was all heavier duty stuff, which came out really well. But when I came to do some delicate stuff, yeah, I kind of lost a bit of patience, tried too quickly, actually melted a Petcock. The old Petcock off that tank, I melted it, ruined it completely. Because I had a plate clamped to it, thinking it'll hold it in place while I weld some nuts. So I put the bolts through, tried to weld it. Too much heat, and ended up melting the Petcock, the aluminium underneath, which was not good. So I'm sticking with the original KZ one that came with the tank, but in moving it from back here to down here, so that obviously it's going to pick up as much fuel as possible. And that's that. The only other thing that's on the back of my mind is that when you fill the tank up, you still have the big rib in the middle, and normally if it's flat, the fuel can get round. But once it's tilted up, unless, you know, the bike jostling around flicks some fuel over, you can end up with half your fuel not coming through on the other side. Maybe I should have 2 Petcocks. Anyway, so that is that. So I'm hopefully picking up a new sewing machine. I've got, oh yeah, how could I forget? So I've got the bike running with the original carbs, but they're not right. It's not going as well as I hoped. I took it for a ride, but she bogged down and started backfiring and stuff while I was out. Got her into second gear, that was it. Can't ride far, she's not registered, I'm not insured. Just took it down the road and back quickly, naughtily. So I've bit the bullet. I kind of wanted them anyway, so I bought some Mikuni flat sides, some TM38s, and they have left Australia from Mikuni Oz. Thanks guys, they were really helpful. And it's on its way over, so I'm going to slam them in. So all that video about making this choke was a bit pointless. It was a nice little success and it worked, but that's all going to go now because the TM38s have got independent chokes. I think you can get a kit to have them both on, but apparently you don't need it. They're so big and free flowing that you can start the bike with a little bit of throttle on very quickly. You don't need choke, so we will see, won't we? That's it. It was a big waffly video without really any major content. It was kind of an update. If I use this, great. If I don't use it, doesn't matter. I might redo it. I find often with these videos is I record something, I watch it back and go, boring, and end up redoing it. Okay, I may just snip it down, make it smaller. That's it. Nothing actual build related today. When the flat sides come in, I'll probably do a video on that, and then yeah, we'll get things back on track. I had a bit of a play with the lighting as well, because I actually want to build a light that looks a bit like a Porsche headlight with the four like strips around the light that I really like, and I can actually program the halo to have those 4, but it turns out the controller I've got can only identify 10 independent strips, and I'm working from the back of the bike all the way to the front, and to get this halo's on one stream, one channel should I say, and to get 4 on here means I have to split this into 9 pieces, and then I need another, so that'd be 9, 10 for the tank, and 2 on this side because the channels are left and right, 2 on this side to do part light, part indicator, or part brake should I say. So that's, what did I say, 9, 10, 11, 12 channels I actually need, or 12 strips, and it'll only let me do 10. So I've had to sack that off as well, which is a bit of a shame. You never know. Down the line, the guy that makes this controller might just increase it. I think that I can get more channels from an add-on that some guy in America's adding on to the controller, so we'll see. I've got what I need. I'm getting carried away with myself. I'm still tempted to put an extra brake light on the back for daytime. And that's it. I'm going to end my waffle. It's like 22-minute waffle. But I've been working. Like I've even made a box there full of loft insulation. And there's a slot there that will go over the exhaust to help keep the noise down while I'm messing with the bike. But if these Mikunis come and I throw them on and they work, then that would be heaven sent. Yeah, and in theory, I can have the bike together, like rideable. Once the tank comes back and the carbs are on, then in theory, it's kind of done mechanically. Then all I've got to do then is the number plate and the seat. So, and in fact, I don't even need to do the seat to get it MOT'd. Maybe that's what I do. I have to get the number plate holder done, and it has to be illuminated. And once the tank's on and the carbs are on and it's running, I could go and get it MOT'd, which is the UK's version of checking that it's road safe. I don't know what MOT stands for, actually. Ministry of Transport. Whatever. MOT, I'll find out. You get an MOT, that means then you can get insurance and have road tax and all the rest of it. In the UK, once a bike's 40 years old, you don't have to pay road tax anymore. She's 38 years old, so I've got a couple of years of paying road tax and I don't have to do that anymore. Don't have to MOT it either. So, get it tested, get it roadworthy, and then I can get it registered, get a number, registration. I've been looking at private regs, which is really difficult because the ones I want make the bike seem newer than it is, which means I can't do it. That's a pain in the arse. Yeah, lots of little things. LED holder. See this thing that I made? That doesn't work yet. I wanted it to be independent of the tank, but maybe I can't do that. Maybe I still have to attach it to the tank. I don't know. Yeah. Number plate. Tank. Carbs. Register it. Then I can ride it. Doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't matter if it's not finished. Still go for a spin. Summer is drawing to an end already. So, yeah, that's to do. So little time. But like I said, I'm not going to be riding it for a while anymore. I'm going to see the doctor next Thursday. It's Friday now. But if I've torn my Achilles, then I am out of action for a while. That's that. So, lesson learned. When you go skateboarding and your leg starts hurting, stop. Don't keep going until it snaps. Right? Take that one with you and think about it when you're skateboarding. Bye.